Some of them are going to tell you to, some of them, you're going to have people every now and then that flake. You're going to have people that reach out thinking that you're selling the item or that you're selling the iPhone when you're buying all these things. Some of the people, though, you'll be able to pick up phones from. You can go pick up the phones that day, drive home, list them on eBay, list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phones on eBay. They can all sell that night if you price it correctly, and you can literally make $100, $200, $300, $400 in a day in profit. There's no other business in the world like this. All other businesses work, but let's say you're going to get into drop shipping. You're going to have to spend time. I don't care if you're drop shipping on eBay or Amazon or somewhere else. You're going to have to spend time looking at different things, listing it. It might sell, it might not. You're probably not going to be able to list it price competitively. So it might have to sell, right? You're going to do Shopify. You're going to split test stuff. You're making an information product, lots of research. You're getting good at a skill. You're doing SEO, right? Let's say you're going to do SEO and you're going to rank websites. That could take a good 6 months to get good at that skill. If you're going to brand yourself as a fitness coach, and you're gonna market fitness products, right? Or let's say a life coach. It's going to be very hard for you to decide you want to be a life coach in the morning and at the end of the day have clients. You're probably going to have to build value and attract clients. You're going to do homes. Let's say you're going to do real estate. Let's say you're going to rent homes. You can't just wake up and say, okay, I'm going to go buy a home and buy a 4-unit apartment complex, have it rented, and have cash coming in all in a day. It takes time to do that. This is the only business that exists where you can literally decide you're going to dedicate and hit it hard in this business, start hitting it hard and make money, which is fantastic. It's a fantastic advantage for us. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So who here is down to do a text message negotiation? I want to do a text message negotiation, one of my personal ones. I want to point out a gazillion little things because the more of these things I point out and the more little different examples you see, when you're in these different scenarios, you can take these examples, use it in your business, and start seeing better success. We always follow the script, but there's always sometimes little tweaks that need to happen. And the only way for me to teach you these tweaks is to share with you guys examples of me doing it so you can see it in real time. And then when you're in situations, you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk like this. I'm going to word it like this. So just give me a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Just someone give me some feedback and we will get right into it. All right, Nathan says share. I got a 1 from Kevin. I got a 1 from Sean. Appreciate it. Good to see you on here, Sean. Haven't seen you in a while. Timothy, good to see you on here. Taylor, Mr. Taylor. Taylor's hitting it hard, guys. We got to watch out for Taylor. Taylor and a Remy, they're hitting it hard. But everyone else hitting it hard, too. I got a 1 from Nathan. All right, guys, let's dive right into it. And I heard noise, which is good, so that means we're all on the same page. So this came from Marketplace. So let me pull up. Oh, let me end this, and let me pop this up. And we're going to go make sure there's nothing on that screen all right, everything with that is good. Let's go ahead and share this screen. All right, guys, so before I share the conversation, I just want to share with you guys the message conversation. All right, come on. I'm going to share with you guys the ad. So this is an ad that I have on Marketplace. And the ad is the red iPhone. I buy smartphones. This is kind of a screenshot. It actually shows the whole thing. Some of the things, just to give a quick recap about ads we post on the apps in the Marketplace. $100 bills, of course. Which is better, guys? Which gets more views? $1 bills or $100 bills? Let me know in the comments. If we had to decide to put money behind the phone, which is going to get more views? If we're going to put $1 bills or if we're going to put a bunch of $100 bills, what do you guys think when we're creating the ad images? Hundo, says Mr. Nathan. And Mr. Nathan, guys, would be 110% correct. $100 bills get more because it's just more appealing. I mean, what do you guys want? You guys want a $1 bill? Or you guys want a $100 bill? Timothy says variety, and that could be true. But if I had to pick one and I was making one ad, I like to put hundreds. Now, you guys will see on mine. Sometimes I have 20s, sometimes I have 50s. But if I have to pick, I like to put hundreds. Of course, I like to put newer phones. I like to put newer phones because what's going to attract more? What's going to attract more views? Is someone going to click on an iPhone 5 or a red iPhone 8 Plus? This breaks people's states. Well, Timothy might have a good point. 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, not bad at all. And if that's working, I definitely recommend it. This is just what I'm doing. I haven't even tested all those things, Timothy, so that's awesome that you're testing it. 8s all day, absolutely. Because, and look at this, guys, it's red. So the person, guys, they're scrolling through Marketplace. They're not looking for your ad. They don't care about you. Now, I'm not trying to pick on you guys. They don't care about me either, okay? So what I want to do is I want to do things to get their attention. So a nice big red iPhone that pops. That sucker stands out with money behind it, and I buy smartphones written on it is good. Now, whenever some of my ads, whenever I have a cold account, and there's 2 full group chats where we talk about hot and cold theory, so if you're having issues with any of your ads sticking, you definitely want to check that out. But whenever I have a platform where it's not like the warmest platform, I have issues with it sticking, some of the things I will do to disguise the title is sometimes I will make the title iPhone 7 Plus ATT 32 gigabyte. I will make the title an actual phone. So I won't use I buy smartphones or money for phones or disguise it. I will make the title iPhone 7 Plus ATT 32 gigabyte, right? Because this is pretty safe. There's nothing here that they can look at. You're saying iPhone 7 Plus ATT 32 gigabyte. It's going to have, now the only thing we have to advertise is I buy smartphones. And then I got message me in description. So that's that. The downside of this, of course, is you're going to get more people to think you're selling the phone, okay? The positive side, though, is if a lot of your ads aren't sticking, it's better to have an ad like this that has a high chance of sticking where you're going to have to run through more numbers of people thinking that you're selling the phone. However, you get the ad to stick and you actually will get some leads than it is to have a very aggressive ad that has a high chance of not sticking. Of course, we could have our cake and eat it too. There are some platforms where if you have a platform that's warmed up, you could have the good picture, the good title, the good description, and it's sticking, everything's good. But this is what I do when I'm working on an account that's kind of iffy, and and sometimes I just do this to mix it up anyway. Sometimes I just do this maybe once a week on an account just to mix it up. I will put the title of a phone on there, and it sticks. So feel free to use that strategy, guys, anytime you need to do that. So let's see. Cool. So Nathan says he tries to flip it with the stone spoon method. Fantastic. And the other thing I'll show you guys is that you guys see this one actually got appealed. So this got me 586 views. It got me a lot of leads, and then someone flagged it or something. So I actually got a lot of leads from this. I picked up a lot of phones from this, and then they hid this right there. So we'll see what it says. So, can you guys see the, I want to make sure, let me see, 1, 2. All right, hold on, guys. I tried to make this. Let me see. Give me 1 sec. All right. And I'm going to pull up. No, you said that. All right, guys, give me 1 sec. Let me go pull up the other conversation. Look at that, guys. I just sold that phone. Beautiful. I love the money. Okay, let's see. All right, here it is. All right, can you guys see the new screen? It should be the new screen. It says Tyler, iPhone 7 Plus AT&T. Just let me know if you can or not. And then we should see the start of the conversation. I've got an iPhone 7 Plus perfect condition. Yep. All right. Cool. Sometimes, guys, the screen will share. When I do a screen share, it'll share one image, and then it'll share a screen. So sometimes I got to go back and forth. So I just wanted to make sure that was all good. All right. Fantastic. So now we're going to return here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little walkthrough because I want you guys to give me some participation and tell me what you guys think. So I just want to share with you guys, this is a lead that came in through this ad, right? iPhone 7 Plus AT&T, it came in through the ad. I've got an iPhone 7 Plus perfect condition with 128 gigabyte. Now, someone tell me something. There are 3 things of information we need before we can make an offer on a phone. Would someone be so kind as to tell me what those 3 things are? There's 3. Oh, damn, Timothy. Timothy is on it. Carrier condition in the phone. Sean says, any problems? So what we're going to do is we need to figure out, Nathan says carrier condition and problems. Absolutely. We need to figure out the carrier. We need to figure out the condition, and then we need to figure out the specific phone, okay? So we got to figure out the condition, right? Is it got a cracked screen or is it mint condition? An iCloud lock, no power, bent, cracked screen is going to sell for a little bit of a different price than that same iPhone mint condition, right? Then we got to figure out the carrier, because we know a Verizon unlocked phone or an AT&T phone is going to sell for a little bit different than Sprint. And then we got to figure out the specific phone. Is it an iPhone 5 or an iPhone XX Max? Because the price of those is going to be significantly different. These are the three big contributing factors that determine that make up the value of a phone. Now, you might say, Aaron, hold on now, Aaron. I disagree with you, Aaron. I think the gigabyte makes a difference. I think, we'll just say this. I think the gigabytes makes a difference. And you're right, the gigabytes does. However, if we ask too many questions before we make an offer, that will actually turn off the prospect, because the prospect, guys, just wants a freaking offer. So we actually have a balancing act. We got to figure out, I got to ask a couple questions, because I do have to get some details before I make an offer. But I don't want to go too long without making an offer, because the prospect will get annoyed and they'll start to mentally pull out of the conversation, and that's not good. If they do that, we're fighting an uphill battle. Nathan says, lowest gigabyte and bad ESN first. That's exactly what I do. Verizon, Timothy says, is Verizon the most resellable, valuable U.S. carrier? Well, most Verizons, Timothy, are unlocked, so that just makes it more valuable. So let me ask you guys a question. Has anyone here ever been negotiating with a lead? Maybe it was way, way, way back in the day before you got the script. And you asked them 10,000 questions, and they said, are you just going to give me an offer on my phone? What is my phone worth? Can you give me an offer, bro? Has anyone ever had that? Give me a 1, okay? I used to do it all the time before I created the script, right? Guys, when they do that, they are agitated and pissed off because you are spending too much time in their ANSI. They just want an offer. So, and we never want them to get to that point. Now, sometimes they get a little impatient and they want an offer like in the first sentence. So we do have to ask a couple of these questions, but we want to ask the least amount of questions. These three things, the carrier, the condition, and the specific phone, determine the value the most. So once we get these things, we're not going to really worry about it. We're not going to ask if the phone still has the plastic on it. We're not going to ask how many gigabytes, because we just need to make them an offer. And we need to move them through the 5-part process. The 5-part process is R, they reach out to us. W, we figure out what they have. O, we make them an offer. C, we close them. And M, we go for the meetup. This is the 5-part process. Your job as a phone flipping superstar professional is to figure out where you are in this process and as effectively and quickly as possible, go to the next step. So, I love that. I love free money, guys. This is what I was talking about. A half an hour before the group chat, I picked up this note. I picked it up for $210. It just sold for $395. So I just paid like $120 on it. It's fantastic. This is the only business where you can do this, where you can literally decide to start moving or get better or start taking different actions, start making money right away. So they reach out to us. They reach out to us. They say, what do they have? They reach out to us. As soon as they reach out to us, we're automatically at step number 2. We got to figure out what they have, the carrier, the condition, and then the specific phone. Then we make them an offer. So with that said, with that premise established, let's move on to the next part. Or let's look at this text conversation. So Mr. Tyler says, I have an iPhone 7 Plus, perfect condition with 128 gigabytes. Now, we already know a couple things. We don't have to ask the condition of it because he said it's in perfect condition. We don't have to ask which iPhone because he said it's a 7 Plus. And we got some bonus information, which was the gigabytes. So we will use this to appraise it. If they say it has a certain amount of gigabytes, that's what I'll use to appraise because I'll never ask for it, but if they tell it to me, shit, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use everything I got. So we just need to know one thing, which would be, what's the one thing we need to know? The one thing we need to know still is we need to know the carrier. Absolutely. So 9 times out of 10, guys, I would say, Okay, great. Which company is it with? Because I recently appraised a bunch of iPhone 7 Pluses, and I know that they're all selling for around $300, $310. I'm actually going to skip this question. Every now and then I'll do this. I don't do it all the time, but I'm going to skip this question and just assume it's either AT&T. I know AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile are all, you guys can go check. They're all going for about $300, $310-ish. So I'm just going to go ahead and make an offer and just assume it's one of those carriers because there's a 75% chance there is, and not ask which carrier it is. If it was Verizon, I could offer significantly more if it was unlocked. So I'm actually going to make an offer. And there's nothing wrong with doing this. It is better to, 9 times out of 10, guys, I always do ask the carrier. But every now and then, especially if I'm responding to a lot of leads and I've kind of already appraised it, I already know what it's going for because I've appraised 5 of them in the last 24 hours of different carriers, I'll actually make an offer. So the next thing I'm going to do is make an offer. Now, I would not make an offer, though, if I would have needed to know the condition, right? If he didn't say the condition, I would have asked the condition and probably went through it. So I make him an offer. Okay, great. I can give you $180 for it. So the first line is the offer, guys. I'm making an offer right away. Now, the offer, notice the line with the offer. We're following the script. We're saying awesome or okay, great. We're saying the word I. See, guys, look at this. Leads are coming in. People just want to give us money. All right, all right, all right. Let me go ahead and mute this guy so you guys got my full attention right now. Okay, great. I can give you $180 for it. Now, whenever we make the offer is important. The offer line should have 5 parts. Now, I'm going to get kind of advanced with you guys. Could anyone tell me the 5 parts the offer line should have? Every time we make an offer, the offer needs to have 5 parts. There needs to be 5 things that the offer has. Can anyone tell me what those things are? Now, see, oh, what's up, Wee? Good to see you on here, Wee. The offer, guys, always 100% of the time, we need to have an awesome or okay, great. Then we need to have an I. Then we need to have a you. Then we need to have a dollar amount. And then we need to have an it. These are the 3 things. So why is this important? Because the first thing awesome and okay, great do, it makes you seem kind of positive. It gives you a little bit of energy, but you're not too needed or too crazy. It's okay, great, awesome, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Awesome, okay, great. It gives it a good tone. And then we're going to have the word I. I can give. So let's see who's on here. Let's see who's on here. So I can give you, Sean, $100, the dollar for it being the phone. The offer always needs to have all 5 of these things for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, we want it to be very clear we are making an offer. 2, shows we are fully committed to the conversation. So I want you guys to just see this right here. Okay, great. I can give you $180 for it. You guys see how it shows that I'm fully invested in the conversation. If I just said $180, that is an insult to the prospect. If I'm talking to Sean, and me and Sean are going back and forth, and I send Sean $180, and that's that. I say $180, and I don't send anything else. Sean will probably be thinking, this guy probably doesn't want to earn my business. Probably doesn't want to buy my phone. He's not really even in the conversation. It's not even worth his time to make me a proper offer. And you will have prospects that will give you a hard time based on the offer if you don't say it correctly. Guys, if you ever deal with a professional salesperson, the professional salesperson will never be needy. They will never come off as desperate, but they will be fully invested in the conversation and come from a place of wanting to earn your business. Give me a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Very, very important. So if you're just sending like 180, or I got 180 for you, or some crap bullshit like that, you will get resistance because they're subconsciously thinking, they probably won't enunciate it, but they're thinking, this guy's an amateur. He doesn't even want to make me a proper offer, and you will get resistance based on that. Very, very important. These details matter, guys. If I'm doing $40,000 a month and I'm waking up at 2 in the afternoon every day and I'm working 30 hours a week, and I'm paying unbelievable amounts of attention to this, it might be worth considering that these details are important as well. These details make or break all the conversations. It also shows clearly that you're making an offer. It's very clear you're making an offer here, guys. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So now He messages me back. He goes, thanks, but no thanks. I got to get $300 for it. I bought it outright for $500. So, guys, all right. So now let's talk about. There is all right. Now we've only. Anyone here want to learn something kind of advanced right now? Does anyone here want to learn something advanced? One of three categories. Okay. It's very important to understand this. Matt says yes, so we're going to talk about it. So, after we make our first offer, the prospect will fall into one of three categories. And it's our job as a phone flipping professional to figure out where the prospect falls, which category they fall into, and move the conversation forward. So the first category they fall into is they're hot. They're a hot prospect. So you say, awesome, I can give you 120 for it, and Sean comes back and says, well, you know, I can't really do 120. Could you do any more? Is there any more you could come up? So number one, the first category they fall into is they're warm. Warm is they're still invested in the conversation. They're still in the conversation with us. They don't like the price, but they're not offended by the offer, and they're still invested in the conversation. Number two is, so let me actually draw this out. Invested in the middle, pulling out of the convo. The second thing is you make them an offer, and they don't really like the offer, and they might be a little offended by it. So the words you say create emotion. If, let's see, who here could I pick? I don't want to pick on anyone in here, but let's say so-and-so was sitting next to me, and I was like, you know, you're just so awesome. You're amazing. That would make him feel pretty good. And then I said, hey, you know, to be honest, you're a big dummy, and I don't even like you. Okay? The words you say matter. So when you make offers, guys, these prospects are going to interpret these offers through their filter, and they're either going to be okay with the offer. They're not going to be offended. They're just going to want a little bit less money. Or sometimes they just accept the offer, right? And we're talking about if they don't accept the offer. They accept the offer, you set up the meetup, you go from there. This is if they don't accept the offer. The other thing is they're in the middle. So they didn't really like the offer. They might have been a little pissed off. It might have been a little lowball offer, but they're still kind of in the conversation. These kinds of people will say stuff to you along the lines of, I'm not really too sure. I'll have to think about it. Okay. So the person number one is still invested. They say, well, you know, is there any way you could do any more? I'd like to get rid of it. That person still invested. Person number two, let me think about it. You guys, I want you guys to see the difference. This is very important because this will determine the words you say to them moving forward. Person number two, guys, let me think about it. The person that says, let me think about it, and that's that, they're not fully in the conversation. They're starting to retreat. You might be starting to lose them a little bit. You guys see the difference between that? Just give me some feedback. If you see the difference between these two people. Then you have the third person. The third person is someone that's pulling out of the conversation. Nah, no thanks, bro. I'll pass. I'll talk to you later. Or they get pissed off. That's like a lowball offer. I can't take it. Or they just say, fuck you. Something like that. Okay? So these people are, yes, for Matt, Sean, and Matt. It's very important. Where are these people at? Are they still, after we make the offer and they don't accept it, are they still invested? You know, awesome. I can give you $200 for it. And Sean comes back and Sean says, you know, it's got all the accessories with it, and it's got this and this. Could you do $250 on it? They're invested in the conversation. We're going to talk to them different than the middle person that says, I'll think about it, right? They're not really invested. They're kind of retreating. Person number two, no thanks, I'll pass. Have a good day. Person number three that says that they're out of the conversation. So what we have to do, guys, in order for us to have communication and in order for our negotiating to even freaking work, they have to give us attention and they have to respond to leads. They have to give us attention and they have to respond to what we say. It doesn't matter how good the stuff you say is. If you don't have their attention, if they're already out of the conversation, nothing else matters. So the standard line from the script is, no worries, it's a great phone. What were you looking to get for it? That works very well if they're invested. That works very well if they're in the middle. If they're getting kind of cold, we actually want to suck up to them a little bit and butter them up to bring them back into the conversation so we can start negotiating with them. We don't even want to start negotiating with them yet and going back and forth on price till we pull them back into the conversation. Aaron, what are some specific words we can say to pull them back into the conversation? Well, one of the things we could say is, the standard line is, no worries. It's a great phone. What are you trying to get for it? I want you guys to put yourself inside your prospect, inside their head. They have egos. They're insecure. They have feelings. They have, you know, they got a gazillion, billion, you know, different things. Where's this group chat thing at? Okay. Had to pull that back up. So no worries. It's a great phone. What are you trying to get for it? Now, let's say this would be good for someone that is invested. So they're number one. They're still invested. If they're not invested, if they're pulling out, so them, let me think about it. I want to figure out what they want to get for their phone, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to word this a little different, and I'm going to butter them up. I'm going to suck up to them a little bit to get them more invested. I need to get their attention, to pull them back into the conversation. No worries, it's a great phone. And to be honest, I need to buy some 7 Pluses. What are you trying to get for it? So you guys see what I did here? I kind of let them know that I want your phone. I want to earn your business. I'm here for you. So I'm throwing in this additional line because I kind of want to pull them back into the conversation. Let me tell you guys why this is important. Has anyone here, maybe they've been in this position, maybe they're in the middle or they pull out of the convo. So they're like, no worries, bro. That price is too low. I'm kind of insulted by the offer. You say it's a great phone. What were you trying to get for it? And they don't respond. Has anyone had that happen? And you're like, Aaron, the fucking script doesn't work. Take it back. I don't even want to use this anymore. So what we need to do, guys, is we're going to follow the script, but we're going to acknowledge where they are and bring them back into the conversation before we go into the script. So what I do for the people that pull out of the conversation, so they're number 2. They're like at the bottom of the barrel. What we're going to do is these kinds of people, guys, pull out of the conversation. We're going to say, my favorite line to say, I just started saying this about a month ago, guys. I just kind of discovered this on my own. And you know, I'm like you guys. I'm out there hitting it hard every day. So anytime I make new discoveries, I share it with you guys. We're going to say, one of my favorite things is, oh, sorry, you said it was a 7 Plus, right? Or if they give me some bits of information, oh, you said it was paid off? That changes things then. I want to either blame, I want to see if they're out of the conversation. And I've shown examples of this actually a couple weeks ago where this works. Some of you guys were on this chat. Where I say, oh, sorry, you said it was a 7 Plus, right? If I say that, if you say, oh, sorry, you said it was an iPhone X, right? I don't care what it is. It was an iPhone 5, right? That makes, what do they think? If they're pulled out of the conversation, right? They're like, this guy just lowballed me. I'm pissed off at this guy. They're mad at you, Nathan. They don't even want to talk to you anymore, Nathan. They're mad at you. But you say, oh, sorry, you said it was a 7 Plus, right? Then they think you made a mistake, okay? You're apologizing. They now get pulled back into the conversation, right? Imagine you're on the other side of that. You're on the other side of that, and I say, you're pissed off at me because you don't like my offer, because you think it's worth more. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. You said it was a 7 Plus, right? What are you thinking? You're thinking Aaron Goldstein made a mistake. You're now, whoop, I now have your attention again. Them. Yeah, it's a 7 Plus. And they might even say something, 7 Plus, kept it in an OtterBox the entire time. It's perfect, right? And if they ever tell you anything like this, they kept it in an OtterBox, they kept a tempered glass screen protector, that's a good thing. They're investing time to try to sell you on their phone. That's a good thing they tell it to you. Now, we don't really care that it's in an OtterBox, right? But that's a good thing. All right. See, Nathan's a funny guy. I appreciate that, Nathan. No problem at all. Keeping it in an OtterBox the entire time. Then, have you ever had anyone tell you that? right? Oh, sorry, you said it was a 7 plus, right? Yeah, it's a 7 plus. Kept it in an outer box the entire time. Then we're still going to follow the script, but we're going to say, no worries. It's a great phone. What are you trying to get for it? So you guys see I'm following the outline of the script, but I'm tweaking a couple things. And in order for me to give you guys every single example, the script would have to be a 10-hour-long video. That's why we do these. That's why we do these live text conversation breakdowns, so I can share with you guys in real time these different things. So when you run across it, you can then say better words that get people in the conversation. That's why this stuff is so important. No worries, it's a great phone. What are you trying to get for it? And then I'm like back in the script. So do you guys see what I did here? Just give me a 1 in the chat if you guys see what I did here. I want you guys to see the strategy I used, my thought process, and also the exact words. I don't want you guys to reinvent the wheel. Just take the words I'm using and use it yourself. Hey, what's up, Duke? Good to see you here, Duke. Duke, I see you out there taking action. Duke's out there moving, man. Duke's going to be hitting 10, 15 grand a month as long as he just keeps hitting it hard. All right, fantastic. So now I want you to share with you guys this conversation right here. So look right here, guys. Thanks, but no thanks. I got $300 for it. I bought it outright for $500. So this guy, guys, I always go back to this chart in my head. This dude, he's not invested. He's kind of pulling out of the conversation, right? So I'm going to say sorry. I'm going to say, normally I'd say, oh, sorry, it's a 7 plus. But because he said it was fully paid off and he bought it outright, I'm going to use that to make it a little bit more, just a little bit more personal for his specific situation. I'm going to say, oh. No. I'm going to say, oh. I'm going to say, oh, that changes things then. So you see what I'm doing? I'm almost creating so I'm trying to create some excitement with him. Oh, that changes things then. What's he thinking? What's Tyler thinking? Oh, that changes things then. Which company did you buy it from? That changes things then. Which company did you buy it from? So now I'm going to do a little bit of digging, right? Because if it's Sprint or T-Mobile, I'm still going to do bad IMEI. If it's AT&T, though, and he bought it outright, that means that it could be clean IMEI. I could check it on their website. I could even potentially unlock it. Which company did you buy it from? Now, guys, I want you guys to see something. Again, he will now respond to this because I said that changes things. I said, oh, that changes things. That's the same thing as me saying, oh, I'm sorry, you said it was a 7 plus. Oh, that changes things. If I just said, what are you looking to get for it? If I didn't say any of this, guys, and I just said, well, what are you trying to get for it? He might respond maybe with not a lot of effort, or he might just ignore me altogether. When I say that changes things, then again, it's the same thing as saying the words here. Oh, you said it was, it makes it seem like you made a mistake and there's the potential for them to get the money that they want. And because there's the potential for them to get the money that they want, they're going to start responding to you. Yeah, Nathan, any excuse. Nathan says, oh, you could also say, oh, sorry, you said it was Verizon, right? Any excuse matters. The excuse doesn't matter. Oh, you said it was a 7 plus, right? Or I could say, oh, I'm sorry, you said it was 128, right? Or, oh, you said it was Verizon. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything as long as you're basically making it seem like you made a mistake. Because if it makes it seem like you made a mistake, there is hope for them in their mind to get the amount of money they want, which will keep them in the conversation and keep them responding to you. And because we have their attention, because we have them back invested in the conversation, we can go through our negotiating process. The whole point of this, guys, is just to get them back in the conversation so we can start negotiating with them. If we can't get them back in the conversation, nothing else matters. But as soon as we get them back in the conversation, they think there's hope. Now we can go through our process. I might not even come down in price at all. Sometimes I can't come up in price at all. But I can start to work on them and wear them out. Does that help, Nathan? He says AT&T. So now because he said it was paid off, with AT&T, I appraise it as AT&T clean IMEI, which means I can pay $350 for it and sell it for, no, I can pay $250 for it and sell it for about $360, $370. And if it is paid off, and I will check when I meet up with him to verify it is paid off, then I'm gonna check with him to verify it is paid off. And if it's not paid off, then I'm gonna put him down on price right there on the spot. AT&T. So it changes things. Ah, you bought it outright from them, right? Now, what is this, guys? These are also, I'm asking the advanced questions. What kind of question is this? And you bought it outright from them? What company is it with? AT&T, and you bought it outright from them. What is this? This is a certain type of question that Tom Hopkins and all sales professionals use periodically throughout conversations. Ooh, Nathan, it's actually not a porcupine question. It is a tie-down question. Porcupine questions can be good as well. So a tie-down question, guys, is a question worded in a way that makes the other person say yes. So when I was selling cars, who sells cars? Is that Taylor, you sell cars, or is that Duke that sells cars? Who sells cars? When I was selling cars, the car salesman guy, or the car manager guy says, Aaron, listen, what we need to do is we need to get people to say yes throughout the sales process. We need to get them to I used to, says Taylor. Okay. He says we need to get them to say yes. Oh, it's Zach does. Okay. All right, no problem at all. So he says we got to get them to say yes 24 different times, because if we get them to say yes, and we get them to say yes, and we get them to say yes, when we go and we make our final offer, when we go and we make our final thing, which is, hey, would you like to take my car home today? With everything else being the same, they're more likely to say yes because they've been saying yes all along. Does that kind of make sense, guys? It's called putting them in a yes pattern. You get them to say yes, and then they're more likely to say yes with everything else being. It's called a yes pattern or a yes chain. Now, we're going to take that and apply that every now and then in phone flipping interactions. I don't do it in every interaction, but if I'm having an interaction that's kind of long, every now and then I will throw in one of these tie-down questions to get them to say yes, because they're more likely to say yes with other things. Does that kind of make sense? So let's go back and let's share this screen again. Boom, boom, boom. I got a one from Taylor. That's a tie-down question. Now let's make up a couple tie-down questions right now. I want you guys to all say a couple give me a tie-down question in the chat. So one of mine would be, and we could use it for anything. And you said the phone was 128 gigabyte, right? That would make a yes. So you guys just let me know in the chat. Maybe just make up a tie-down question. All right. And you said there are no cracks on the screen, correct? That would make yes. Nathan says, Aaron is a funny guy, isn't he? I love it. So what we do is we put these things at the end of it. The word right, the word correct. What are some other good ones? Right, correct, wouldn't you agree? Does that sound fair? That's another tie-down question. I think Dave teaches that too on some of his group chats. Does that sound fair? Would that work? These are all tie-down questions. I'm going to make 5K off you. Fair enough? That's actually very good. Fair enough? I love it. So we put these little words at the end of questions to get people to say yes. So, and the reason for this is we had a little bit of tension between us. I pulled them back in the conversation. It was unlocked through, or it was paid off through AT&T. I'm going to ask a tie-down question just to get them to say yes. And also to clarify it, I want to make sure it was bought outright from AT&T. Because when we meet up, I'm going to check on their website. And if it was paid off, I'm going to give them the full amount. If it's not, then we got to come down in price a little bit. Does that make sense, says Nathan? Absolutely. He says, yes, sir. I go, would you do $250 on it if I met you today with cash? So now I reappraised it. I made another offer. And the other offer I made, I look at the way I phrased the offer. Would you do $250 on it? I put the dollar sign there, right? Now I want us to keep track of the offers. I want us to keep track of the offers that I'm making, all right? So I made one offer before. Now this is second offer. A phone flipping professional will stay in the conversation and will make multiple offers. Yeah, I threw a there. Would you do 250 on it if I made today with cash? So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm making another offer. I'm using the dollar sign, right? Because the dollar sign just looks good. I'm asking it in the form of a question, and I'm throwing the power phrases, the benefits. What are the 3 benefits we use when we're negotiating? Okay. Guys, at the end of the day, we can only pay so much for a phone because we have to sell it. We got to pay eBay fees, PayPal fees, and we got to make our money on it. Okay. Now everyone else has to do the same thing, right? So we are not going to talk about price. I'm going to try to talk about other benefits. Meet today, pay cash, drive to you. If you can't come to them or you don't want to drive to them, don't use that. Chris Kripe, guys, he's the next level. He does $10,000 a month. He doesn't have a car. He gets people to come to him. You can do this fine and just get everyone to come to you. But it's nice when you have a car because some people you got to go out to get them. Would you do 250 on it if I made today with cash? So this is my second offer, and you see how I worded it. I worded it in a question, and I don't just say, would you do 250 on it? That's not enticing. Say things to entice them. Would you do 250 on it if I made today with cash? The meet you today with cash makes all the difference in the world because people want instant gratification and people want cash. Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys see this. If I just said, would you do 250 on it? Would you do 250 on it if I made today with cash? That is literally 500% more effective, more powerful, and more persuasive than just, would you take 250 on it? Because there's no benefit at that point. The benefit is just, if you just say, would you do 250 on it, you're hoping the price itself is enough to sell them. When you say, would you do 250 on it if I made today with cash, you're now having the price, but you're also having me today with cash. And we don't know his situation. Lots of people, they want cash now. Some people, they've been trying to sell it for a week, and they haven't gotten an offer from it. Everyone likes cash. These things make a difference. He goes, I have an AirPod that I toss in if you give me $350. So, guys, look at this. Now, hold up. Wait a minute. We're going to take a step back. The first time I made the offer, he was pulled out of the conversation. This is my second offer. Notice right here, he's now more invested in the conversation. You say that? He goes, I have AirPods. I'll toss in if you give me $350. Okay? So this is good. Right now, it would always be better if he just fucking accepted the offer, right? But this is good. He's still in the conversation. He's not pulled out. This guy is like, he's still pretty invested in the conversation. So I'm aware of all these things as I'm talking to him. I'm aware of the fact that, okay, I got him back in the conversation. He's responding. Not only is he responding, he's actually coming back with a counteroffer. Now, what I want to do is I want to let him know I never like to reject people. So I never like to say the word no. Never say the word no to people, right? Notice the script in this whole conversation. I never said no. I never say I can't do that. All I do is say what I can do. Because if people have egos, and if you say the word no, right? So let's say me and all right, who could I be talking with? So let's say that me and Taylor are talking. So me and Taylor are talking, and we're going back and forth, and I'm like, you know, Taylor, I don't really want your AirPods. I really just want the phone. If I said that to Taylor, how is Taylor going to feel? Now, this is Tyler. I'm talking about Taylor that's on the group chat. If I said that to Taylor, yep, Taylor says, fuck me, right? Because it feels like I'm rejecting him. You might say words, guys, that you don't think are offensive to the prospect, but people are insecure. People have egos. Some people aren't people. You know, people have big egos, so we have to be very careful with the words that we use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically say I don't want these, but I'm going to say it in a nice way to let him down. So the words we're going to say are, I really just need the phone though. Would you do $250 just for the phone? I can meet now. See, so I'm not saying, Taylor says, I did that today. Fantastic. Then you are doing the right stuff because that is the exact right thing to say. For everyone else here, you see how this works, right? I really just need the phone, though. So I'm not saying I don't want the iPods. I'm saying I really just need the phone, though. And then, guys, look what I'm doing. What is this right here? Would you do $250 for just the phone? I can meet now. Guys, this is offer number 4. Offer number 3. I'm making another offer. I'm always coming back and making offers. It's your job as a phone flipping professional to control the conversation, and you always need to be making offers. That's just how it works. A lot of sales guys is just kind of staying in the conversation and making offers and wearing the prospect down. You know, if you ever watch a little kid and they want some ice cream, hey, Dad, can I have some ice cream? No, you can't have any ice cream. Please, Dad, can I have some ice cream? No, you can't have any. Please, 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 give me. All right, fine, just take the ice cream. Guys, my cousin, he's in Next Level. He bought Next Level just like everyone else, paid the full price for it. I was actually gonna, hook him up with it, but he decided to pay for it, so all good either way. Hey, cousin's in Next Level, guys. He didn't know anything about negotiating. But I said, listen, whatever you do, stay in the conversation. So the conversation looked like this. He made the offer, and the offer wasn't even that good. I can give you $350 for it. He goes, no, I really need more, bro. It's an iPhone X. He goes, well, I can give you $350 for it. And the guy's like, well, can you at least do like $460? I mean, it's a brand new iPhone X. And my cousin's like, well, I can only give you $350 for it. And the guy's like, well, how about $410? Would you do it for $410? And my cousin's like, well, I want to buy your phone, but I'd like to buy it for $350. The guy was like, all right, fine, just take the phone. My cousin sent me this screenshot. The conversation wasn't that good. He still had a lot to learn. It's better to be more smooth than not. But the point is, because my cousin stayed in the conversation, and after the first no, didn't say, oh, well, no problem. If anything changes, let me know. My offers are always on the table. We don't say that. We stay in the conversation. We try to make as many offers as we can. We wear them out a little bit. When you do $250 for the phone, I can meet. Now, again, guys, I'm throwing another benefit here. Now, if you're at work and you can't meet now, say, I can meet you today. Okay? Let's see what he says. I'm good. I am honestly just trying to sell it so I can buy a PS4. Everyone wants $300 for them. Okay, cool. No worries. If anything changes, let me know. My offer is always here. Now, what I could have said, what I should have said, now that I'm talking with you guys, I should have said, I probably would have said, no worries. I totally understand. Is there any way the person would do $250 for the PS4 if you were meeting them today? So I would try to solve his problem. I didn't really read this and internalize this as much as I should have. His problem was he needed $350 for the PS4. So if we could get the PS4 for $250, then he would accept my offer for the $250. Okay, and I would have tried to set it up to where I would have met them all at the same time, and I would have just given the guy money for the PS4. That's what I would have done. You can do stuff like that. I had a guy come to me. He didn't have a car, but I got him to get an Uber. He paid for an Uber to drive to me to sell me 3 phones, all right? You can, do stuff like this. You can get people to move around when it's going to benefit them. But I'm kind of pulling – if anything changes, let me know. My offer is always here. So I'm kind of pulling out of the conversation. If I had to redo it, I would have stayed in here a little bit longer, guys. The more you stay in the conversations, the better. However, I still made 3 offers so far, so let's see what happens. Okay, thanks, man. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, is even though now also one of the things I'll do is sometimes you can bluff a little bit. So sometimes you can pull out of it. If you feel like they really want the deal, sometimes you can say, no worries. If anything changes, let me know, and they will chase you. So I think I might have been doing that a little bit here too. You never want to do this too early on, though. It's best. The better strategy is to stay in the conversation. But once you get good at it, you make them a few offers. By pulling out a little bit, you can actually get them to chase you if they're interested. He goes, okay, thanks, man. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys say anything else at this point? What do you guys think? Is there anything else I could say here at this point? I said this because I was trying to test it to try to get him to chase me, and he's not really chasing me. So would you guys do anything else at this point? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to keep selling him. I'm going to try to keep closing him. So I'm going to say, and because I'm a reseller, I won't flake or BS. No problem. So listen, even though it's kind of the end of the conversation, I'm still trying to throw benefits in there to get him to sell me the phone. And because I'm a reseller, I won't flake or BS. And then I say, no problem, right? He goes, I appreciate it, man. Now I'm going to say something else. Now I'm going to keep talking to him, all right? No worries. Also, if I'm not on here, because this is a rented account, I'm not using my Facebook, just text me if you decide it's worth getting rid of it for just $50 less. I'm 314-724-4656. See what I'm doing, guys? I'm like still kind of pursuing them. And I'm trying to put it in perspective. What am I saying? It's only $50 less, bro. Is it really worth just 50? So see, I'm staying in there. LOL, I was going to say 280 possibly if this guy gets back to me about the PS4, but I'll let you know. I said, okay, cool, sounds good. And I might follow up with this guy in like a few minutes because it's been a couple hours. Let's see what's going on. So this is the conversation right here. So I want you guys to see what I did here. There was a lot of things that I did here. The first thing was the first offer I made, he wasn't really feeling it. He was pulling out of the conversation. So I said, oh, it's it's paid off. A big thing. I pulled him back in the conversation. I made 3 offers. And even after I said, if anything changes, let me know. I'm trying to stay in the conversation still and entice this guy to keep selling the phone to me. Now, guys, I haven't closed this deal yet. I might close it. I might not. A lot of my conversations look like this. You'll always stay fully in the conversation. Sometimes you might go back and forth for a half an hour and not get a deal. That's just how the business is. Anything that's entrepreneurial, sometimes you're going to spend time doing stuff and nothing's going to work out. You're in sales, someone comes on the car lot, you can spend 4 hours with them and they don't buy a car and you don't make any money. But sometimes you get, someone that comes in, they pay sticker price, you get a 5-pounder and you make thousands of dollars in commission. That's just how it is. We always, though, the number one rule, though, is we always want to stay all the way in the conversation. I have conversations that look like this all the time. No, not all the time, guys. Sometimes I have conversations and I make one offer and I follow the script and they accept the first offer and they're good. Sometimes I make them an offer, they say no, I follow the script, I make them a second offer and they're good. Sometimes it's tough like this guy. And I wanted to share with you guys kind of a tougher scenario so you can see how I handled it. So next time you're in a scenario like that, you can follow, I just say the same words. What I do works. Follow the exact same format. There's no need to go out there and read 10, sales books and figure it out yourself. The books are actually a good thing and they help as well. But I want to share with you guys the words. What's so good about this messaging is I can just share with you guys the exact words to say and you can just take the words and steal it and use it yourself and start getting results. That's one of the benefits of this as well. Now, of course, if you're going to, anything else on top of that, reading sales books, going to seminars, listening to Grant Cardone, those are all fantastic things as well. But when you can just take the words and use it, that's a fantastic thing. That's what I got for you guys. You guys get any last-minute questions? It's been an hour, and I'm going to go pick up these 2 phones. I'm supposed to make about $250 on. Any last-minute quick questions I can help answer for you guys? Mr. George, Yosef, Kevin, Matt, Nathan. Who else do we have on here? Mr. Sean, Taylor. Hold on. Wait a sec. Lots of gems in this one. Fantastic. Was this helpful for you guys? Did you guys learn, hopefully, a fair amount of things on this that you'll be able to apply to future conversations to keep people in the conversation and to hopefully close people so you can close more deals and make more money? Gotta go, says Taylor. No worries. Appreciate you being here, Taylor. It was good seeing you. I certainly did, says Nathan. Yes, it was great. Says Sean, I'm rewatching this, says Nathan. Yes, learned a lot, says Kevin. Fantastic. It was great hanging out with you guys as always. Very helpful, says Yosef. Appreciate the feedback. Great hanging out with you guys as always. You guys have a fantastic day. I did remember to record this one as well. So if you guys ever see me not recording, just yell at me, right? Feel free to say something in the chat. You guys have a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the Facebook group. And let's hit it hard this weekend. And any success you have, any win, it doesn't matter how big or small, I would love to celebrate it with you inside Next Level as well. You guys have a fantastic day. Bye.